Welcome to It's Up There Podcast. I am your active and attractive host for another episode of the fastest growing podcast on the market right now. We did peak at number 36 in the world. For that, I thank you. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast and you want to catch the video, you head over to FOGFO TV on YouTube, and then that's where you'll be able to get the video at this time. If you're looking at the video and want to catch the audio, you head over to wherever you get podcasts and put in It's Up There Podcast, and then we should pop up. Very busy week for podcasting, and so this show here'll be a lot. I'll be breaking down a lot of the game and examining a lot of the deals and things that's happening out there. As I am a student of the game, a lot of y'all that know me, or a lot of y'all that tap in with me every week, you know how I stand and what I feel about a lot of the things, and I tend to take a particular viewpoint that may be unique, and so for that, I got to take a look at a few things. Again, I need to be transparent and clear. We drop audio on Mondays at midnight. When you wake up Monday morning, the audio podcast will be out. Video podcast stagger and come out on Thursdays on YouTube at 6 a.m. Okay, so that's the schedule for now. That's what we're dealing with. Podcasting is a crazy place. The gap between the paid and the unpaid is steep. And I think a lot of podcasters, as we do look at these dudes get this money, it's a token of what could be. But you must still live in reality and understand. I always tell people, if you're doing a podcast, and a lot of people that do podcasts gravitate to me too. You know, I think they see me as close as they can get to the industry, or as close as they can probably get to somebody that know as much about this shit as somebody that ought to be making millions of dollars off of it. So I noticed that a lot of podcasts follow me. Shout out to y'all. But there's a unique place, right? There's like a black hole you fall into. As you hear people say that they get a lot of listenership, a lot of engagement, and they still haven't found a way to make money. There's something happening with ads. You know, there's a misconception that you have to have a lot of views to get ads, because I see podcasts with no views getting ads. So there's something happening there, and that information is valuable to the people that have it, and in that case makes them withhold it. You know, but only so long when you got somebody like me snooping around. You know, it's only so long you're gonna be able to hide it, because me figuring shit out was life or death for me. So the way I examine things, you know, I tend to put that same blanket on everything. Sometimes it works in my favor, other times it doesn't. It works against me. When it starts to work against me, it's up to me to know how to transition and cut it off if I can. Try to, at least. You know, I remember last week or the other week when Facebook shut down. I never talked about that. But it was very awkward that right after the whistleblower thing happened, Facebook shut down. I said, man, Mark Zuckerberg to me is like a D boy. It's like he hustling, he trapping with this here. He like a D boy that's hustling in the bathroom, you know, right there by the toilet, just in case when they hit the door, boom, flush everything. That's what it felt like. It felt like something happened and he went in flush mode. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, if you from the street, you know, we used to be in the bathroom right there by the toilet, to the point where the police got so swift and up on it that they would, before they kicked the door, they'll cut the water off. So then dudes start sitting in the bathroom with a bucket of water. They hit the door, boom, and it's still going down. Sometimes they'll come up and it won't even flush. It's stuck in there. Ain't nothing you can do. They gonna reach in there and grab it. But it just felt like he was hustling to a point where, y'all want to come look at, you know, I think y'all might be finna look into something. Shut it down, wipe some stuff. You know, because we don't know what is, You know, when you playing with the government, you got to think about Mark. Mark playing from a different perspective, home. I'm talking about he going up against the y'all think y'all going up against the feds when y'all dealing with, 400,000 down here, y'all 10 bricks and a gun. Y'all think, man, the feds hardcore. Man, Mark dealing with the real government. With the real that any slip, we gonna shut him down. We trying to take it from him. We trying to, do legislation to ban it some kind of way or at least get in control of it. He got a different type of fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, y'all don't understand, man, about power. Power is a different thing. When somebody get that amount of power, the other people that got power who never intended on him to get the power want to get that power out of his hand. Because we don't know his ideology. We don't know what he thinks. Hold up. Who is this that crept in with some... He crept in and shot right up here with us in regards to power. We used to be able to hit a button and all the media run the same story. They had started to catch on to that on the internet to where some will come out and then they'll play 15 different news stations saying the exact same thing. Like they started to catch on to that. You see? But now you got Facebook who gets in a position to where, as you should in business, because McDonald's does it, Walmart. I see Walmart go in the neighborhoods and try to make if you're a mom and pop store and Walmart moves within 25 miles of your store, maybe 20. Maybe not that, maybe that's too much. 10 to 15 miles. If you are a mom and pop store and Walmart moves within 10 to 15 miles of your location, they effectively will put you out of business. If you like a mom and pop grocery store, not a Sicko or something like that. Cause see, they eat off the beer and the can and the cigarettes and things like that. And Walmart even in that lane too, you better be careful. See, McDonald's, Walmart, all that, they in the real estate game. Man, let's say this shit go to shit. Let's say that Walmart and nobody don't want to buy burgers no more. That's cool, because guess what? Man, we got 2 million pieces of land around here. But people don't even think about it that way. For me, that's all I think about. I'm peeping them, man. They what they doing? Oh, they here every country I go. They here KFC like that too. They here, they there. You like, yo, this is real estate they got at the end of the day. They just throw a little something up there, and it happened to keep going for 100 years. But we really in the real estate business. And so when you look at Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and Instagram, they're in the virtual real estate business and they're the leading provider. Now TikTok is on their necks and moving at a very fast pace. But in regards to just virtual real estate, Mark Zuckerberg is at the helm of that. And the government, I would think, wouldn't want someone outside of their building to have influence in that way. Unfortunate for them, again, the internet hit left field. It's going to take years and years and years and years for us to really, really, really get a hold of this and know what it does and what's the ramifications. And, like I say, you never know what OnlyFans, and for me, it can have a good thing. You just never know what OnlyFans does 100 years from now, right? The people who were doing OnlyFans, those people that it may have turned into entrepreneurs, it may have turned their life completely around, turned them into entrepreneurs. 100 years from now, women are now starting to really, really understand the power of that transition, right? Or it can have another effect where the people that's doing that, if they have children or things like that, you never know how things are gonna look. But for me, and my advice is don't worry about what it'll look like in the future. Don't worry about what it'll look like in the future. Continue to get your bag if that's how you get your bag. Now understand that there will be ramifications. We don't know what they are. Not only for that, just the internet in general. Us staring at a phone all day, us engaged with that thing like that all day, what it does, what is that? When Facebook went down, I kept on just Instagram, and I don't even post a lot. I only post podcast stuff. But I mean, I said, man, they done got me some kind of way. I'm addicted to that. It's a different game. It's a different game. And the algorithm is the algorithm. I hear people talk about, like, I heard Ish say on Joe Budden podcast that his guy said that he went and slept over his mother's house for a while because he was getting his house worked on, and then whatever she was looking at popped up on his phone. And they were saying, well, man, they started to feed it because you close to him. No, that's a proximity thing. That's just simply because he's on her internet. He probably joined her Wi-Fi, or they running off the same tile when they in the same house, so that coordinate says that that's the same person. If you stay there, like if you go to a, like my phone, if I go to the studio for 30 days, 60 days straight, every night, it's gonna say home for the studio. You know, they start to guess these things and put two and two together faster than you can put it together. You know what I mean? But it just seemed like when it went down that he kind of shut something down, cleaned some stuff out, and put it back up. If you look into how they say it shut down and what actually shut down, you will probably share those opinions. But watching that tech world is it's a big boy game. I'm watching it close because I plan on becoming a multi-millionaire. Hundreds of millions of dollars. So I got to kind of be tapped in on what tech companies is doing what. Like, I'm one of them. And I'm not, see, that's the thing, right? I try to tell people about, don't never, ever, ever tie me into one thing. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. At this point, I get his look. It's just a comfortable look for me. But behind my eyeballs is something going on that it ain't represented by this look right here. This look only says where I'm from, what I come through, what I've been through. You understand? But it's a lot going on behind that. But anyway, I got to stay up involved on the tech companies and who is what and when, who's in Silicon Valley. I remember I was running around telling people about Silicon Valley. Me, LOON, strap in the car, in the hood, telling people about Silicon Valley. Go ask them and verify it. They were like, what is that? Man, that's where everything going on at. That's why I know deep down dudes know what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I was just on some other stuff. Back then, I'm on that, you know, and this years ago. You know what I'm saying? I also want to speak about this because it's been heavy on me. The school shooter in Texas. Matter of fact, let me pull something up on it. All right, so there was a school shooting in Texas at Timberland View High. The alleged suspect name is Timothy George Simpkins. Word was that he was being bullied in school. I'm gonna run a short thing of his lawyer speaking, and then we'll come back. But word is that he was being bullied at school. He took a gun to school. There was a video out there where he was being attacked. The gunshots went off. I think 4 people were hit. He was took to jail, then released to his family. There was an uproar about him being released to the family, and having some sort of having some sort of release party. White America took that a certain way. And the optics could be received a bit odd, you know, to say the least. But I think a conversation needs to be had, you know, about the gravity of the situation and the severity, but also about the perception of black culture to white America. You know, I think that's a deeper conversation that needs to be had, because oftentimes the way white America perceives black America oftentimes ends up in us being at the hands of violence. Right? I've been searched as a teenage boy because I looked suspicious. Right? I didn't have a hoodie on or a bulge coming out of my hoodie like I have an assault rifle. I just, for them, just looked suspicious. Right? Again, perception. I always told y'all that the black experience for white people is far and few in between, oftentimes happening in some of the most violent movies that they can find, because they lean on us for entertainment. Their understanding comes from entertainment. They don't oftentimes have conversations with Neil deGrasse Tyson. They don't want to go and speak to any of our black scholars and have any real conversations in regards to furthering their understanding of the mindset. Now, we have to be better in pushing some of our scholars to the top of the mountain to be able to have these conversations, or having these conversations amongst ourselves, knowing that white people are watching, right? Because again, you lean on us for entertainment, and so that's where you draw your opinion from. So when you see the young boy like Trayvon Martin with the hoodie on, you can only relate that to the scene that you seen in that movie with the hoodie and the boy running the store and robbed the store, right? You don't know that football players like to wear hoodies as well, because they got on a tight sweat fit under there that, you know, they might be getting a jog on. Or you don't know that hoodie is just a style for us sometimes. It's just a low-key style, you know. But again, furthering those conversations is at the forefront of what needs to take place, right? But we'll get into the school shooter. And unfortunate part about this is that the situation went viral. I mean, it went to which it's supposed to. I mean, it's a school shooting. It's an unfortunate, horrific, terrible situation. So it went to all news outlets. Let's look at the one from ABC. Let's take a look.
Breaking developments, that school shooting, authorities racing to the scene in Arlington, Texas, outside Dallas. This time at Timberview High School, the gunfire ringing out early this morning. One of the victims shot a young English teacher. He is 25 years old. Tonight, he's in the hospital. A 15-year-old in the hospital, too, who had been in critical condition, now recovering in the ICU. Word of an active shooter reaching police just after 9 this morning. Armed officers running inside. The suspect quickly identified as an 18-year-old student at the school, fleeing in a car, triggering a massive hunt, and a warning that he was armed and dangerous. Students and teachers barricading themselves with doors, the chairs and desks, and behind those doors, huddling there in the dark. Outside, a massive law enforcement response securing the school, getting the injured medical help. Law enforcement rushing to his home nearby. They did not find him there. Tonight, after searching for hours, the gunman turning himself in, and what we've now learned. ABC's Marcus Moore leading us off here from Texas tonight.
Tonight, a shooting at this Arlington, Texas high school, leaving 4 people hurt.
This is not a random act of violence. This is not somebody attacking our schools.
Officials saying it all started around 9:15 this morning. Authorities now reviewing videos posted to social media appearing to show a fight.
We believe right now, preliminary, that it was a student that got into a fight and drew a weapon.
All you hear is pop, pop, pop. Like 6 shots, 6, 7 shots back to back.
This is something you all have done drills on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we do drills on it all the time, so we knew what to do. Once we heard lockdown, because usually they let us know it's a drill, but they say lockdown, so we knew it was in our drill.
Police identifying the suspect as 18-year-old Timothy George Simpkins, a Timberview High School student who turned himself in after an hours-long manhunt. Students sheltering in place. Teacher Dale Topham was just down the hall with his students, and together they barricaded the door.
When they realized it was shooting, there was no hesitation, no confusion, no chaos. They just immediately sprang into action.
One 25-year-old teacher and 3 teenage students were wounded during the shooting. 3 of them taken to the hospital and expected to be okay. As an all-out manhunt for Simpkins began, law enforcement swarming his house with guns drawn, but he wasn't there. Officials out with a warning.
This person is considered to be armed and dangerous.
As the lockdown was lifted at the high school, a steady stream of students walking out in a single file, and a now familiar scene tonight. Worried parents waiting to be reunited with their children. This is the 5th school shooting in the past week. This mom saying that she and her son had discussed school shootings and prepared for this day.
To know that the shooting was right next to his class, bullets fly everywhere.
And Marcus Moore with us tonight from outside that Arlington High School. And Marcus, no word on a motive yet?
David, no word from authorities on a motive, but they say a possible weapon, a .45 caliber handgun, was found in the street about 2 miles from here. And Simpkins has been charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and he's expected to go before a judge tonight. David.
Marcus Bohr leading us off tonight from Arlington. Marcus.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Terrible situation. Terrible situation. I do think there's a conversation that needs to be had about bullying. Bullying in schools is a real thing. Like, people are going through scenarios in which people are bothering them and trying to be hard on them for whatever reason, whether that's your girl like them or whatever the situation is. And see, sometimes you hear me, I tell the young niggas, like, yo, bruh, I don't like to see the young street guy if you ain't gotta be. Like, the one that live in the hood, I know what you going through. You know, I'm going to try to give you some game, but the one that's trying to be that bothers me, man. It bothers me, man. It offends me because I know that I don't want nobody headed down that road, bro. Ain't nothing down that road, bro. Ain't nothing down that road, fam. You ain't getting nothing down that road, and I hate to see dudes acting like they want to run down that road. Stop that. Stop that. You don't got the tools to go down that road. You know, if they tell you, hey, when you get down there, you're going to need, you know, like if you go to a swimming pool. Listen, man, to have your best experience, they got that bad water down there, so you need some goggles, because if you let that water get in your eye, you ain't going to be able to swim. It's going to burn so bad. You're going to need some swimming trunks. You can't do nothing in them jeans. Like, you can't just show up at the pool, dog, because you think because somebody else made swimming look easy. You better be careful in that water. You don't know nothing about that water. You better stay away from that water, bruh. And not because you a bitch if you stay away from that water. Every man that's smart understand you don't get close to something you don't know nothing about. Dogs even know that. You'll see a dog see something like, yo, what is that? You know, they won't even unless they just dumb, but most people gonna try to don't get involved with something if you don't got the tools for it, bro. Don't take them jobs on. It's stupid to do. When somebody tell you, man, you ain't no street dude, they telling you, bro, you doing, stay in school, bro. You doing the right thing. You ain't dumb. All us was dumb. We set ourselves back. All us was dumb. That's why people, see, this is the thing I'm finding out too, and I'll get back to this. People are starting to think that I think I'm smart. So they think that calling me not smart offends me. That don't offend me. I know I'm not smart. I know I'm going to get some information. I know what to look at to get a little something, but I ain't trying to say, yo, I'm the smartest one. Never, ever, ever. Ever will I do that. So you can't offend me by saying that, you know what I'm saying? I just want to put that out there. But bullying at school, man, and fights at school and people trying to show out and prove a point. I was just telling somebody that, you know, because there's a girl that I know, and her kid was in a situation to where he wanted to prove so bad that he's not scared that he said something to somebody that had a gun. You heard me. You heard me correctly. He didn't have a gun. He doesn't have a gun. He's probably never shot a gun. He don't know what it's like to fire a weapon, hurt anyone. But the fact that he wanted to prove he wasn't scared, he said something to a person that had a loaded gun. I told that person, you're lucky that it was somebody that loves him on the other end of that gun. because you don't say things. See, you want to be street so bad or tough so bad that you will cost yourself your life. Again, you don't got the tools to be down that street. They'll walk you right into a death, bruh. They'll walk you into getting robbed, walk you into being set up because you don't have the tools, the know-how. You want to be tough. They don't. What people don't understand is you don't have to be scared to die. You can be comfortable and you can be the toughest guy out there. And when this firearm hits you, you're going to react the same. But somewhere along the lines in the little boy's mind, they starting to think that if I show I ain't scared, then it won't hurt me. Or it's something weird going on and we got to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. I get offended by it. Because I know you don't know what you asking for. You don't even know what you asking for. You have no idea what you asking for. But word is he was being bullied. We're going to look at a video where his family said that. Hold on. You know, but you hate to see it. You ask yourself, if that's your son and they're bullying him, what do you do? What do you ask him to do? If he's going to school and they're hitting him and look like he on his last year, and this dude was mauling him, as you seen in the video, whooping him. But one thing I saw him do was he balled up. See, when you ball up like that, none don't really hit you that clean. Ain't no clean hits, but you leave yourself open for that foot. But sometimes you got to go in like that when they done caught you. You got to go in like that, but you really need to be trying to come up out of that because, man, he might run over here and grab a desk and kaboom. But, you know, it was crazy, man, because the dude was boom, boom, he was hitting him. He would call him on blood, you just. You know, it was all that going on. So that lets you know the energy in the class or the energy that them little boys is having. On crib, on blood, on crib, on blood. Some of them mean that. At least they think they mean it. See, the problem ain't whether or not. See, this is the issue. When they done bought into it. Hey, when they done bought into it, it's a problem. Because they willing to do things because they don't know the consequences. See, consequences come with age. You know that I shoot him, but it's a way this gotta happen unless it's clearly self-defense. Now, if it's clearly self-defense, you know, we can explain why this is the scenario, but we ain't hurting nobody for nothing. You can talk one of them little boys that really bought into it, that uncle done it and cousin, brother done it, and you can kind of talk him into something. But after that, the man family came out and kind of spoke to what I'm saying. Let's see what they said.
He was scared. He was afraid. There's a video that's all out on social media, and it shows that he was being attacked. It wasn't just one person that would attack him and bully him, taking his money, harassing him due to the fact because he had more things than maybe others. It takes us all. It takes us all to stand together about this bullying. It could have been a situation where he took the other turn and decided to commit suicide. What the decision that he made, taking the gun, we're not justifying that. That was not right. But he was trying to protect himself. And so we hope that the police department does the investigation properly. There are going to be independent investigations that's going to be done as well, so that we can get to the bottom of really what happened.
Well, and you say that he was bullied exactly because he had, clearly y'all have a little bit of money, you know what I mean? Like, is it because of money situation, or what all are you saying that he was bullied about, and how many times did y'all report that?
Well, due to the fact that they were blessed financially, and so he was able to, you know, get things maybe that other children could not get or teenagers could not have. And so because he wore nice clothes and because he drove nice cars and because he had the things, he was like a target, outgoing, loving person, being that he's been around his grandmother, his loving mother. They taught him to love, and he was a giver. You know, mostly like up until the point to where he got into his senior year. And it really became, he's looking forward to graduating and doing something with his life.
What would you like to say to the victims' families at the same time?
The victim's family, there is no justification of anybody who's being hurt. We have to take a look at the fact that bullying is real, and it takes us all. And I do apologize. We ask as a family for forgiveness of any type of hurt. It was never intention for it to go on like this.
Just an unfortunate situation. You know, I wouldn't know what to tell my son. It's like, I don't know. Like, they got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? They got to figure out how to intervene some kind of way. Then they be having them teachers in there so scrawny. Them teachers be some of the scrawniest individuals that the world has to offer. Shout out to teachers, though. We love y'all for trying to teach the kids, a lot of them, but a lot of them just there because they need a job. Let's talk about it. A lot of them don't really have no real connection with the kids. Let's talk about it. Now, some of them do. Shout out to the ones that do. It didn't sting when I said that if you was one of them ones, but a lot of y'all there because you need whatever that dollar is on the hour. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people say, well, they don't make much, but sometimes people don't need much. Yeah, I ain't talking about that they want to make $600,000 a year. Some people need the 30 to lock the 30 in. You know what I'm saying? And whether they doing this or McDonald's, it don't matter. Just lock the 30 in is what I'm saying. But school shootings, man, in the U.S. is a real thing. Gun violence is a real thing.
You or whoever told you that is lying. And I just want to say, him and Timothy have to go to the same school. And those people had a meeting after the shooting, and they even have records that he was jumped on Monday, pistol whipped and robbed of his possessions on Tuesday. What was he robbed of? His car keys. Mama had to get another set. So I can see how you got keys mixed up with weed. But if you take the time, dumb black people that know so much, and read the affidavit, it's public records. It's public records. The affidavit says it all. The affidavit says it all, baby. But when you listen to your kids, because you think your kids is better. When you listen to kids, see, I don't listen to kids. Can't no kid tell me a motherfucking thing. Hold on, I can't find my shit. Yeah, make my screen, there we go. Yeah, see, I don't listen to kids. Can't no kid tell me a motherfucking thing.
Kid can't tell me a motherfucking thing.
I've been working with those in the agencies that's getting the real reports. And let me just say this. His family, Timothy, is getting death threats. His family, Timothy, is getting death threats. While that little boy over there playing like he innocent, playing gangster, you heard him on blood, bitch ass nigga. You got what you were looking for, baby. That's what playing blood gets you. I had a 15-year-old named KYRIE Stevenson. We called Bigum. He lost his life playing blood. I had one called Bigum. Lost his life playing blood, nigga. So that's what you about to lose yours, playing blood, baby. But don't try to make it like he no good innocent kid, nigga. He got what he was looking for, a bullet in his motherfucking ass. Fucking with a baby that didn't want to be fucked with. Fucking with a baby that did want to be fucked with. And I'm going to tell y'all again, ask yourselves, if you got the evidence in the report, you don't think they talk to all them kids? I just want y'all to remember this, like, that school was on lockdown.
Now, you heard that, right? You see, I was just saying, a lot of times they don't know they campaigning. A lot of times they don't know, that energy that they putting out. They don't know what that's going to bring. See, what that energy going to bring you, homeboy, you ain't prepared to accept. And then they saying, like, I guess the little boy was beat up Monday, pistol whooped. They took his keys Tuesday, Wednesday. He gone brought him a strap to school. Like y'all can't, you know, I don't know how to feel, man. Like it's so serious that, you know, people get hurt, but it's like, but then what if it turned into cowboy? That's the only problem. What if it turned into everybody bring firearms then, since it's like that? Shit, he might be bringing a firearm, but kids is messing with people. Sometimes you got them kids that's bothering folks and stealing and doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get your kids, man. Damn.
And the news media was telling us that there's a school shooting. Who do y'all think released the video? Who do y'all think y'all released the information and said that this kid was bullied? The children from the school. It wasn't the adults. It was the children. They was on lockdown. They released the video of him getting beat. They did. The children at Timberview. They said he been getting bullied. This is what the kids said about it was on lockdown. So who y'all talking to? Who y'all talking to, man? Because the affidavit, the evidence, all the reports say this kid was bullied. And the
bullying is a real thing. Bullying is a real
also reflects that this kid had to have been bullied. $75,000, man.
Yeah, but again, we're gonna move on, man. But it's just a sad situation. And like I say, it just, man, it's some healing that needs to be done. Meek Mill. Let's talk about Meek Mill. Meek Mill was under fire about his new album, Expensive Pain, rapping, being on a bus. It was viewed by, I would say, an angry consumer. Let's say that. It was viewed by an angry consumer. Let's see what he had to say.
Look at this fucking bus. Look at this bus that goes by in my neighborhood. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What is this? This is on the side of a bus. This is on the side of a bus rolling through your street. Rolling on the side of your street. Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want? Look at this bull fucking shit. Look at this shit on the side of a bus. Is this what you want, black women? Is this what you want? Is this how you want to be respected? Is this how you want to be respected in life? This is how you want to look? This is how you want to be portrayed? Stand up to this bullshit. I'm from Philly. I actually should support Meek Mill. This is fucking disgusting bullshit. Look at this lady. Look at this. This is on the side of a bus where little girls can pull up and see this shit. That's her fucking pussy. Let's not mistake what this pink dot is. This is disgusting. This is satanic bullshit. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of... Look at this shit that you're getting on. This is for everyone to see. Little girls are seeing this crap. It's fucking crap. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. I'm so sick of them just rubbing Satanism right in your face. Oh, it's for art? This is art? Is this art? Black and white checkerboard. What is that? It's a Masonic flooring. Duh. Look at this garbage. Money. Money, 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 money. Garbage. Garbage. Wake up. Wake up. It's all related. The vaccine. This crap. It's all related. They're all the same spider. Controlling you. Stop complying. Take your freaking mask off. Read about germ theory. It's ridiculous already. Clean the freaking water. Stop dumping shit in the air. Get organic food. Grow your own food.
Crazy, crazy, crazy world. Crazy, crazy world. So that gentleman had a legitimate point, you know. That is what seems to be a black woman bent over with pink in between her legs. You know, that is a representation of one of the sexual organs on a woman, right? So we can't deny that from being the case. Number one, when I first saw this, I said, I think that's an actor. That was the first thing I said. I think that dude was an actor. But then I kind of thought about it again and was like, I don't know. I'm not sure. So let's set that to the side, whether that dude was an actor or not. If that is true, let's entertain the fact that that may be the case. If that's true, so let's just say a white man, if a white man felt that way, he made a lot of things. He said a lot of different things. He's compared it to a lot of different things. Only one thing I didn't hear him compare it to, and that's movies. Oftentimes I wonder why rap doesn't get the same leisure that movies get. To see, the problem is you guys view our entertainers as much more than entertainers. Y'all go to our entertainers and pull from them. A lot of times this is entertainment, right? So that album covered, in my opinion, although I would never want black women to be represented in a vulgar way unless willing, right? But not to children in any case. And when I say unless willing, I mean if they want to do exotic dance and things like that, that's on them. But anyway, like I said, I thought first that it was an actor, and then I told myself that you know, maybe it's not an actor, but why can't we look at rap and entertainment as entertainment? Disrespect is disrespect, but people get their head blew off in movies. People, like I looked into Saw 4, Saw 3, all of those things. They had buses wrapped in with Saw 3 on there. That represents blood and gore, entertainment, right? We understand it from that perspective. But then, you know, like I said, sometimes white people perspective is off. They're not wrong saying that should have been different. But what I'm saying is, in their critiques of us, they tend to leave context out of it. Right? So the context behind the Meek thing is that this was an African-American woman that did the painting, that it is art. I know he tried to say, what is this? What is this, art? Yeah, whatever. Like, no, for real. Like, that is actually art. Like, that's a painting that a woman did that literally sells art. So it is art. Now, is it a poor representation for young children to see on the side of a bus? We can agree there. But to try to say it's not art would be to discredit that black woman, which I would find an issue in that. And hopefully they would too. And again, how white people receive black people has to update. How white people receive black people has to update. There has to be some conversations had as to what things mean. And then on the other side, you have someone like Andrew Schultz that's been running alongside the culture, right, this whole time, and kind of staying in tune just a little bit, but more than an average white dude, right? And so sometimes he's off too, sometimes in his analysis and in the way that he receives certain things that happen, because it's not his culture. But for the most part, some of those things he's kind of able to view it through the lens of what it's intended for, right? So with that being said, like, you know, like I said, whites and blacks just has to update. I also felt like Meek Mill was able to get some traction off of it. But I peeped something. Then I said, oh, that was specific for him. Because they said something on there that made it where, that's why I said that it kind of felt funny. Because they said something on there that made me feel like that they X'd it out of mainstream. Right? Because if he just would have went at Meek about the black women thing, that could have been picked up by MSNBC, CNN, and all of that. But the minute he said, take your mask off, killed it. That mean it would stay underground. So it's almost like that message, because he didn't have to mention that. Some kind of way he tied that in at the end, which told me, this won't go mainstream because they can't promote that. You understand? And it's almost like, I don't know, it was deep. It was deep. And not saying Meek done it. Maybe it's marketing. Somebody may have had some knowledge that was going to take place that day. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think they profited off of it, and there's no such thing as bad promotion. So let's talk about podcasting. Matter of fact, let's give a round of applause for the week that podcasting has had as a whole. It's been a phenomenal week on all spectrums. Our representation for podcasting, in particular, men, in particular black men, in particular our culture. It's been a lot of moving and shaking going on. As well as the GOAT, we got Joe Rogan. Let's give a round of applause for Joe Rogan. I see the play. I see what Joe Rogan is doing over there in regards to his constant fight with CNN. That's how you use your platform. Big ups to Joe Rogan. But you know, I have to talk about all of the moving parts. You know, being happy that a lot of these guys are moving and shaking in this space would be an understatement. For me to say that I'm pleased would be an understatement, as I know I am in line to get my bag. Round of applause for me being in line to get my bag. I know they got a bag waiting for me, and I'm in line to get it. Now, for those of you that may not know, $1 million worth of Game has just signed the WME. Round of applause for $1 million worth of Game. Some of y'all may not know the reach of WME. Again, me being a student of the game, that speaks volumes for a hip hop music podcast to be represented by the biggest talent agency in the world. So again, shout out to WALO and GILLIE. The only thing I haven't seen WME make an official press release. Y'all let us get WME. Let us get a press release for the homeboys. You know what I'm saying? Send it all the way up through, you know, the New York Times and all of that. You know, that's why I always tell y'all it's levels to this thing. And if you don't know the levels, you will never know where you really stand. And this is for the up and coming podcasters that see this and we get inspired, right? I'm with y'all, but I'm also with them as far as understanding the business. So I'm kind of in the middle, and I try to communicate to both sides. WALO and GILLIE have a unique get down. They have a unique interaction with each other, which is it's almost like a Beavis and Butthead type thing. You know what I mean? Like a modern day hood Beavis and Butthead type thing, right? Not that goofy, it's just how when you think of one, you think of the other. WALO is building a different brand, but when you think about those two guys, they kind of give you some entertainment. Their podcast, being interview based, is a beautiful thing, and I think that they do have enough know-how and stories to do this. You know, like I say, what I do, I want y'all to know how unique this is. You know, I get on here hour, 2 hours by myself. I don't pull from anybody, and I'm constantly able to turn this thing over, man. It's just a beautiful thing. You know, it's talent involved in that, understanding the culture and understanding what you want to communicate and how to communicate it is essential in you trampolining up to the top of this game. So again, shout out to WALO and GILLIE. Great podcast. Go check that out. Another announcement. And so people say, oh, Loon, what does WME, what they got to do with podcasts, and how could that help GILLIE and WALO? WME has contracts with all the venues across America, and I think a lot abroad as well. So what that effectively means is that there's a company with contracts with venues all around America that has an interest in putting these two gentlemen in front of their fans in venues all around America, which means they're leveraging that, which means they have an interest in brand building even further than just the hip hop scene. So they're going to help them build their brand in hopes to filling up those arenas or wherever they'll be doing their shows, because WME stands to make money off that. And by them already having a well-oiled machine where they're brand building all of these different superstars that you know, WME is not even interested in 99% of the rappers. Not interested. 99% of the rappers couldn't get a WME contract, just to put that in perspective. Your favorite rapper may not could get with WME. They're not interested. Podcasting reach is a different thing, hence why you see me in front of it. And let's not get mistaken, I started in 2017. Let's not get that mistaken. Might have been 16. Go do the Googles. I just took a hiatus. Took a hiatus. There was some things, some contract things happening, some things happening behind the scenes with music that I had to comb through. Took me quite a while to comb through, and then also get the wherewithal or the nuts to say, you know what, just cut it on. Spend that money, go get a whole bunch of shit, cut it on, and see where it take you. See if you can do it by yourself. No help. 0 people. See if you can do it. See if you can figure all this out. And the pandemic kind of put me in a place to, hey, let's go and put the pedal to the metal. You know what I'm saying? So WME has an interest in $1 million worth of game going even further and having even more brand awareness. Just to put that in perspective for you. Now, the next podcast announcement is RORY and Mal has signed to, I think, Stitcher. Let's round of applause for RORY and Mal. All right, so it says here RORY and Mal signed a $10 million deal to Sirius XM and Stitcher. That number says that it'll probably be exclusive. That number also speaks to the value that I think that they were speaking to Joe Budden about. Now, did they take some of Joe Budden value, or did Joe Budden take some of their value in regards to that 10 million? Does Joe Budden in his mind somewhere still think that 10 million is a reflection of him some kind of way? And do you think it's a reflection of him? I mean, it could be a reflection of what he helped them build, but again, people are rocking with them, and if they've been able to leverage and get 10 million, we got to get that up to them. That's a good number. Word is they still own 100% of the podcast. You know, they of course have asked about it, and Mal basically said, man, you never think somebody would do that to you, but you know, in regards to speaking of Joe, like, yo, you see him do shit to other people, but you always think, nah, not to me. That's my dog. And then one day they swing it around your way. I think it hit Mal a little different, but I think Mal, and now we're looking at it, I mean, they effectively won the match from their perspective. Now it's up to Joe. If he can go off and get a big bag, then, you know, they both come out winners. But I think it hit Mal different. I think it hurt Mal. I think what Mal went through with the breakup was different than what RORY went through. I also think that if Mal wouldn't have aligned himself with RORY so much, that Joe would have handled Mal different than he handled RORY. I think Joe would have did more to save whatever that was with Mal versus RORY. That's just my opinion. But Mal stood on principle and looks like made a sound decision. I don't see him getting 10 million next to Joe. I don't know. How does Parks feel seeing that? Like, whoa, they got 10 million. Is that real? You know, I know they're asking that. You know, but you know, this game is a hustle. Now, what they've done, effectively, they have made Joe Budden, they forced him into a rebuild. If you're asking me, I believe somewhere in Joe Budden's mind, he still thought that he'll get the boys back together. I still think that somewhere in Joe Budden's mind, he thought that they can't get they need me to get the big bag. They'll get some little money, but the big bag, they need me to get it. I think in his mind, he thought that they were able to negotiate with their fan base, and that was dope. But they forced Joe Budden into a rebuilding stage. You know, I put that up under Rory's post or Maul's post, and then, you know, of course, people that know me, listen to my podcast, start commenting saying, like, I was like, man, Joe, you know, I said, congrats to Rory and Maul, but damn, Joe, they done forced you into a rebuild. Like, I think what Joe's doing with Ish and Ice, he never looked at that as permanent. Now he has to either look at that as permanent, or he got to come and dance with me with what I do. You know what I'm saying? Or he gonna have to look at that as a permanent situation. You see what I mean? So I think somewhere along the lines, he just thought, I'll get the boys back together. Some kind of way I'll get the boys back together. Because they can't get the $10 million bag without me. If it was me, I think he should have made that right way quicker. You know, for the sake of the whole scenario. They took some cachet. And so a couple people under the post said, yo, I think they better off without each other. Of course, you know I'm a professional podcaster, so I gotta, let's have a conversation. First of all, I don't think they're better off without each other. For me to say that would mean that I think that's an even swap. I don't feel that. What I think that Rory and Maul may be slightly better off without Joe, because Joe can't take any of the money. Even though they've already run off with the Joe Budden like aura around them because they his partners. You see, so I got that, Joe. You can't take that from me, and I'm out here negotiating with that. Not just with that, along with my people who done grew to like me. Now some people don't like you because of us, and it's a weird thing going on. But nonetheless, we got people watching. Let's negotiate. But I think that Joe's podcast is in a worse is not in the best position it could be in without Rory and Maul. I think if Rory and Maul was still there right now, they still would be. And he's still high now. He's still, retention is good. People are still, his consumption is good. He's still doing well. But it'll be doing that much more better had he had Rory and Maul next to him. And on top of that, Joe is still he's still not trying to conform. So he still ain't on Spotify. He still ain't over here. He still ain't over there. They're forcing Joe to change their business model. They're going to have to call an audible. They're going to have to call an audible. And you hear him doing it real time when you hear him say, thinking about tour. Go back 6 months ago, 5 months ago. He was standing on it. I don't like tours. Forget tours, this and that. But it's money to be made. He know I got to touch the people. I got to rebuild this thing. I got to shake hands. You understand? Because they placing me. That's where they put me. Wherever the chips lay, that's why I got to pick them up from. You understand? I don't have no leisure to be able to ignore the obvious. That'll make me a dumb businessman. I'm ignoring the obvious. Oh, man, these dudes when they got 10 million. What my guys around me looking like? What they thinking? Them some of my boys. So now, does that send a signal through there? If you leave Joe, you can go get a bag? I know some of them people enjoy working with Joe. He's probably a good dude to get in there and pod with. But when we talk about 10 million, that's a different conversation. It's heavy. Do I think Joe could come out of it? Yeah. And I'm saying come out of it like he's in some weird, I mean, his brand, bro, they've pigeonholed his brand. They've pigeonholed the brand. Something has to happen with the brand, or he can just continue to eat how he's eating now and be okay with that while everybody else is 10 million here, 8 million here, sign with this, 20 million here, da-da-da-da-da. And then you got to also think Rory and Maul is using all of the market to get some numbers. That's why I'm trying to tell you, when Joe not on Spotify, that takes, 100,000 people, 70,000 listeners away. If he puts it there, that's 70 more thousand listens. But again, understanding the business is key in this. But they have effectively forced Joe Budden into a rebuild of his brand. We'll be watching to see exactly what he'll do with it. And of course, again, you're going to see some changes. You're going to see some tours. You might see him invest a little bit more into Ish and Ice. Ish is doing well. Ice is doing well, but I would say Ish is doing better than Ice. But I'm not sure about they got to get their brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, they cool Joe Budden homies. They straight like that, but something about the brand. Like, Maul had a little, Maul had his little basketball thing going on. His brother is big time in the game. Rory had his emotional on. They had their own brands, and that's what they were trying to tell Joe, it seemed like. Like, yo, Joe. Like Parks got his own brand. Like, yo, bro, we all got our own brand. Like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man, but we'll be watching. Congrats again to Rory and Maul. Joe, it's time. He gonna get a bag somewhere. He gonna make a move. He gonna make a move somewhere. But he gotta beef the brand back up. And cause they playing with all the numbers on them. And see, that's what they mean when they say gonna make you conform. This is why Joe Budden looks at the TikTok situation like that. For those of you that follow Joe Budden, lately he's been speaking about TikTok ruining music. Because what he's saying is, if all you need is 10 or 15 seconds, all the artists are going to conform to doing 10 or 15 second songs, or there's something in that song that make it lucrative or make it appealing to that audience, which effectively changes music. With podcasting, people are negotiating with numbers on all platforms, which is effectively going to make Joe Budden have to put his stuff on Spotify, put it over here on Stitcher, put it over here to be able to say, now I got 7 million hits a week. But he's trying to play the Joe Rogan game, which is exclusivity. Like Academics. Academics playing the exclusivity game. Luckily for $1 million worth of game, they've been able to be wide open, which is a blessing, and still, be alongside and getting paid. Same with Big Facts. You be on all these different platforms and still be signed to some people. Same with Drink Champs, making money from it, but still being able to build the brand in all markets that's available. It's a beautiful thing, but when you hear 10 million, that means I'm pulling you in. I need to build over here. When you hear 100 million for Rogan, I need to build over here. Speaking of Joe Rogan, the GOAT of the podcast industry, he just had an interview. He just sat down with Dr. Sanjay Gupta from CNN. For those of you that, ever watch CNN, I know exactly who that is. Done watched him along the years. Smart guy. What made this interesting to me is that Joe Rogan has an ongoing fight with CNN where they misrepresented some things, according to him, in regards to his approach to the 2021 pandemic. I have to not say these kind of certain words because I can't say these certain words simply because they trigger certain algorithms and then make your stuff not being able to be placed where it needs to be placed. Nonetheless, I'm gonna see how good I am if I can get around them. But Joe Rogan, his approach to the pandemic and being a part of it was, for lack of a better term, to mainstream media odd. They say that he was dealing with horse dewormer. That was just a big thing, to the point where he started to flirt with the idea of suing CNN for misrepresenting what was going on. Now, to see the doctor come on his podcast after that, the first thing I thought was, what is that about? So he reached out to be on the podcast, and they slandering me over there. So they finna send a doctor over here to school me. But one thing I know about an old podcaster, boy, one thing I know about a podcaster, boy, y'all don't not want to see one of these podcasters like Rogan that can get in there and he well read on what's going on. He done took some what's that? He get alpha brain. He's locked in on you. You sit down in there. I done brought you into my octagon. Now you got to deal with me. That's why I say with this podcast thing, you can sit whoever there. You got to deal with me in this. Y'all read teleprompters. You a beast at reading the teleprompter, but I'm a beast at in and out of a conversation. It's a different thing. I'm going to show y'all a clip in which him and Rogan started to have an exchange, and you see the difference. You see the difference. You brought them all the way. See all that CNN, that well polished, reading the facts from somebody else, research this and that. You dealing with the source of it. So now it's a different dance. I look at these things like fights. But again, it's just important because of Rogan's. It's just important because of Rogan's reach, his ability to speak to the people, right? And that's also what gave me. And then I'll get into the interview part. But that also what kind of I pull from, Joe Rogan and Bill Burr, them dudes doing this same kind of thing that I do, right, by themselves. And I'm like, yo, I heard them explain what Bill Burr does. And I said to myself, wow. I said, let me see if I can do it. And then I started the pod and I'm like, yo, this is a thing. This is a thing, right? Kind of knowing enough in your own mind and knowing where you want to go to be able to podcast by yourself. It's a different talent. It's a different thing. And I found a respect for Rogan and Burr, and even there's a guy that by the name of how the hell am I Ryan Sickler. Another guy that has a great podcast. He's a comedian. Again, I'm a student of the game. I don't just name certain things. Like, I'm all around. I listen to Two Bears, One Cave. I listen to what's the guy name? The conservative guy. It's almost like the news used to work for the news. They got their own thing. Nonetheless, I'm just saying I take in all kind of information. That's why they come get it from me, and it's digestible because I done read and looked and did so much about it. But let's listen to the Rogan and that they had an exchange that got kind of heated. And I couldn't be more proud to be a podcaster to see them folks go in there and have to deal with Rogan in his arena.
Part of the reason why is my daughter.
Okay, now let me lay the framework of what the conversation is. They're having a conversation about the pandemic and the sickness associated with the pandemic. They're having a conversation about it in which they're saying that younger people that go and get a shot that's recommended by the government, right? The shot that's recommended by the government, the people that go and get the vaccine, let's just get to it. So they're saying that the people that go and get the vaccine are young men, young boys are more likely to have complications from getting the vaccine versus just building some sort of herd immunity. So let's hear them, and it gets a little sticky. So we can't be certain. But I thought vaccines did speak to certainty. I thought vaccines speak to the cure of. The direct vaccination of something, I thought stood for, exterminating it and fighting against it and holding the symptoms hostage. But again, man, I just, again, you guys know I always like to watch the white podcasters, the black podcasters, and then sometimes I pull the colors off and I just watch podcasts against mainstream media. Podcasts against rap against podcasts. Just to see how everything intertwines and know my position in place in the culture. I don't want to say that this interview ended without those guys having a great conversation. It was like a 3-4 hour podcast, so they had great times. The point is that when we pull you into this podcast world, it ain't a lot of people that can survive when you standing next to somebody that done the research, got to work, and they communicate this way for a living. It's just rough to dance with those people. With that being said, I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with Kyrie Irving, and then maybe a couple of more things. Then we'll get out of here. We like to give y'all a good long podcast now. Y'all something to come back to and just build the catalog up, you know. So shout out y'all. Give us a second and we'll be right back.
After this break, we'll be back breaking the game down with It's Up There Podcast. Stay tuned.
All right, so I want to talk about Kyrie Irving, and after this podcast, I'm going to try not to speak on the vaccine anymore, right? Because what's happening is that they're not making you not talk about the vaccine. I mean, you do what you want to do, but they demonetize everywhere that you can be monetized. Or shadow ban that content. So it's starting to become unproductive to explore just even the topic, right? And see, that's why I tell people you got to be careful with your understanding, because somebody can tell you, right? Somebody can trick you into thinking like, hey, we'll never tell you what you can or cannot do. But then they create an environment that where it's non-productive to do what they wish that you don't do. You see what I'm saying? Now you got a freedom to do what you want to do, but we know where your morals lie, and we know where your needs lie, right? And so your needs lie on this side of things. So if we interrupt or disrupt this side of things, when you go against that, naturally it makes you stop doing it. You know, the same with a lot of the platforms. When you mention certain things or you talk about certain things, it puts your account in a certain spot. So they're never saying that we're controlling what comes out of your mouth. But once you do say those things, we put your platform in a situation where it's now not making any money. And we are in a capitalist society, so we got to always think about making money when we do things. But Kyrie Irving situation, I got to speak about. It's a lot going on with it. Kyrie Irving and Stephen A. Smith has had a very unique exchange in lieu of Kyrie Irving being hesitant in regards to the vaccine. Stephen A. Smith being one of the ones that you hear me talk about in regards to supreme game, operating on a high level in regards to communication, one of the best ones. However, I think that the pressure that they've now put on Stephen A. Smith, or maybe he done it to himself, you got to think the position he's speaking from. See, that's why I always tell people it's less about what's being said and more about who's saying it, and that goes with everything. It's less about what's being said and more about who's saying it. When you look at Stephen A. Smith, he got the whole boat on his back. He got the whole situation on his back. So Stephen A. Smith may start to reach in the crowd and grab shit that he ain't got no business doing, but he trying to will himself to this next situation, this next, a re-up that may be down the street a little bit, and also keep the numbers in a certain place. Anytime you see a show, respectfully to Stephen A. Smith, because I'm not speaking to the numbers of the show or speaking to the worth in the marketplace of the show. I'm speaking to the mindset of the man that now is in the forefront of that vehicle still remaining in those positions. Because it's a hard fall from the top of the hill. Everybody talk about what it was like at the top. A lot of them dudes don't talk about now they got to live at the bottom. That was a hard fall. And every time that, all that work you put in to get to the top of that hill, at some point, you got to come back down that hill. It's on you And that's why they say treat people a certain way on your way up, because you got to see them same people on your way down. A lot of them people keep them same positions. Some of these people that when you came in the game as a rapper and you was marketing in 2015, they had already been doing that for 5 years. It's now 2022. And now they still doing that same job. They still they've made a living there, and they're going to remain there and remain influential in those little markets, right? So just be careful how you treat people. You look at Stephen A. Smith and him being in a position to now have to single-handedly drive the ESPN daytime television vehicle by itself. And then you start to see him, when I heard him on Breakfast Club say that he had like thousands of takes, or it might have been Hot 97. One of these interviews he did, he had broken down, which I know they do that for negotiation purposes, right? Just kind of knowing how much work I've really put in, how much time slots I've been available to regurgitate or to rehash different opinions about the same subject. But when I heard him say that, I've been doing this for this many years, I got like 45,000 takes and this and that, I'm like, wow. But now you pigeonhole yourself. So you see him go at KYRIE, takes a very aggressive approach. His approach to Kyrie Irving was very aggressive, right? And it seemed to be fueled by sports, in which I don't blame the parent company, but I kind of blame the atmosphere that they've had Stephen A. Smith in for the last 10 years on why you start to see these things. Stephen A. Smith basically lives with a Bluetooth in his ear connected to whenever they say go live. I've seen him go live sometimes to what looks like in a room somewhere. When something happens, they depend on dude. So they working him. He's working extremely hard. What's happened is his life now has became sports. It's almost like he's not seeing past. Everything is so sports generated. It's so he is so ingratiated in the team and the stats and this and that, to almost where it's like it's no feeling in there. They gotta let Stephen A. Smith bring his head above water, man, sometimes, and live a little bit and come back to the hood and pass out backpacks and hug people and talk to people. You know what I'm saying? So you can feel what it feel like when mama and them lost their job because, she maybe didn't want to get vaccinated because of whatever the situation may have been, and she can't afford to pay her bills. Whether that's right or wrong, that's a different discussion. Just to be able to feel what it feel like to be afraid, what it feel like to be, to look something in the face and not be sure about it. But again, your range don't go past. You did a $5 million deal for 2 years and you making $40 million a year last 2 years in a row. You miss 18 games. Your mind don't go past that. They done locked you. Listen, you like a little rat on the spinning wheel. They done locked you in. You can be doing anything in that cage. That rat don't know what's going on. You can be putting poison all around every piece of that rat cage. He would never know because they got him caught on that wheel. And he going to the point where he don't even understand his platform can be used in so many different ways. I hear him also say, and I got love for him, you hear me big him up. He's a big boy in this space. I heard him say he want a nighttime television show and he works for Disney. Something is disconnected there for me. Something is disconnected there for me. I'll leave it at that. As hard as you work over there, my brother, to the point where they've detached you from even knowing what it feel like. Certain things, see, everything ain't about the stats, bro. Certain things about impact. I'm not saying don't take a vaccine. I'm not into that conversation. Me and my family do what's right for us, what we feel should be right. I'm not telling nobody what to do either way. But what I am saying is, how can we place someone in a situation to where they can't be afraid? You tell a person you can't be afraid. You can't be weary. You cannot think twice about this. That scares me in itself. So for you to wrap stats around that, it lets me know that you lack the feelings. You lack the ability to understand that there's feelings involved. Not only that, we got people like Kyrie Irving. His body is everything to him. His body is everything to him. His body is what makes him the money that you talking about that he's putting at risk. So his body, listen, anything else, I see people be specific with the cheese they eat. I see people be specific with the straws they use. I see people be specific about things that go inside their body, my boy. So I can't wrap my mind around how you don't want me to pay attention to the things that I'm putting inside my body. You want me to ignore that and say, yo, the team, the stats, man, what you doing? You hurting the team. And what I'm saying is, by default, like, that's collateral damage. That's unintentional damage, whatever's happening with the team. Right? But if we look at the natural order of things, you can't tell me to worry about the calories I eat and the train and don't eat like this because you got to have this much stamina. You know, y'all hooking me up with nutritional people to watch everything that go inside my body as an athlete. Y'all sending me to specific doctors. Do not go to them doctors. These the best. Y'all doing these things because my body means so much, not only to y'all, but to me. So then when I'm in a place, in a position to be unsure about something that does have, you know, when you look at the data out of Israel, right, and the UK, for healthy men, for healthy people, right, we assume an NBA player to be healthy under the scrutiny of doctors at all time, right? So it says healthy men should be okay. Now, that's not for me to say. I don't know. But all I'm telling you is, when you look at the data and you really look at things, at some point, if my body is, first of all, everybody's body is the vehicle of life. That's number one. Number two, I'm making $150-200 million left off his body. I got 2-3 more $100 million. You understand? I don't know if they, you know, and then by me doing this now, by them painting it this way, now do somebody try to put something wrong in me? Do they try to make example? Like, I don't know. Do I need to get paranoid? Because all I said was, let me look into it. But I don't see the difference. I don't understand how people like Stephen A., right, don't give any leisure, any leeway to people that's clearly afraid. Right? I see people that don't even know. I ask people things that I've just learned about, even how to administer the vaccine. And people that's administrating vaccines don't even know this. I'm like, okay, when you put it in, do you bag up to make sure you don't see any blood? To make sure it's not going directly in the bloodstream? That's another problem. You understand? These things that people don't even know that's responsible for doing these things, right? And I pray, you know, for whoever taking it, you know, the people that took it, to be all right. I just don't know. Again, I don't know the ins and outs about it. My only thing is Kyrie Irving, with the freedom of choice, you know, standing next to being one of the biggest names in basketball. First thing I thought was, man, is Kyrie trying to be Colin Kaepernick? That's the first thing that came to my mind, because, you know, I'm always looking at things and trying to see, you know, the why behind it. I don't never care what people say. I try to figure why they saying it. You know what I'm saying? And And so when he first did it, you know, I kind of was like, yo, he trying to move into Colin Kaepernick type vibe. But then when they said the money, he was putting the money at risk, and he still was like, yeah, that ain't moving me. I was like, oh, so he not playing. Oh, he not playing. Oh, so he about his business. I see what he got going. You know, and they taking him through a lot, you know, just, you know, behind it. And a lot come with those kind of decisions. You know, you know, heavy is the head. When you become someone that's people look to, someone that's somewhat influential, right? Then, you know, they come with a price. Now, I did hear Stephen A. Smith made a good point and said, listen, you got to stay in the NBA for people to care about what you're saying. This is what Stephen A. Smith said to Kyrie. Basically, if you're not in the NBA, nobody care about what you're saying. I'm not sure if that's the case. I would say that the NBA does amplify the voice. And they seem to be on the right side of freedom of speech and expression and things like that. So I think he will reach more people if he is in the NBA, but I don't want to diminish the impact of his voice because he's no longer in that system that I was just talking about, you know, that hamster on the wheel. And he stepped outside of that for a second to see what's going on in regards to what he's gonna put in his body, man. And I think freedom of choice is a powerful thing, you know, and it's a slippery slope. You know, first is this and it turns into that. Then that turns into those. See that? First it starts at, yeah, so it started at one. It started at this, then it turned into that. You feel me? Then that turned into those. It becomes, now it's plural. It's a bunch of shit going on. They done took from you. Under the guise of helping you. And I want to get off of that because, again, it's not monetization friendly. So I need to stay away from that. And one thing about the internet, it's going to remain undefeated. I don't give a damn who you is and what you talking about. The internet going to be undefeated. When Kyrie came and this was happening, the first thing I saw on the internet says they let Magic Johnson play with full-blown AIDS. But they did not let Kyrie play because he didn't take a vaccine. And man, when I tell you that hit me hard, I said, yo, that's deep. You know, respect to Magic Johnson, one of the big hustlers in the game. You know, one of the biggest hustlers in the game. Blessed man, you know what I'm saying? But the optics of that sound, that looked crazy. When they scrolled down and I seen that looked wild. Now you do with that what you make, you know what I'm saying? But I think back then, you know, and I don't want to have a bunch of conversations about these things because, you know, I'm not educated in those areas enough to be able to completely understand the impact of what I'm saying. Because see, those things become nuanced on that side. It becomes complex to understand the way to communicate if you have not spent time in some of those worlds, right? And when I say worlds, I mean communities. You know, I don't travel outside of my community in regards to interaction on a daily basis. So I don't have any guidelines, you know, any guardrails on what is disrespectful and what's not. So I'd rather stay away from it. But back then, you know, they let Magic play with that and Kyrie can't play. So let's see what happens. I guess it'll continue to unfold and we'll be right there to watch and see what happens. And it also shows you, right, how America is so complex. On one end, you got people fighting for their rights and their bodies, and both parties are right in my opinion. But you got one party saying, hey, you know, it's her body. You can't tell her what to do with her body, XYZ. You know, and people fighting for that. And then on the other side, you got people fighting saying you must go and do this or you will be ostracized, you know, and you will be outcast. It's just a weird country that we're in, man. We'll see who wins the next popularity contest. I think Trump is coming back, and I think Trump will win. I just was telling my partner, I think Trump will win. I think, this is what I think. I think they're going to put Trump right back in. You know, because I hear people saying, even people that were going against him, I hear them saying like, man, they got to bring Trump back, man. The money will flow on. And I'm sure they'll come out with something closer to election time, right? They'll come out with a scandal or something he said on the email, or, you know, they'll come out with something because that's what politics is. It's part of the game. But I think that this time he probably gonna win, man, because they're doing a good job at making Joe Biden look like what he's doing is weak. I don't know enough about it, and I'm gonna start looking more into it. I kind of been on my prosperity vibe right now. So I done kind of tapped out of all of that, you know, but I'm going to tap back into it and see. But even now, like, you know, things are happening, man. And even in America, like I was telling my partner, these jobs are having a hard time getting people to come back to work. Like I was seeing Chick-fil-A start at $19. Walmart start at $21 in certain states in America. You know, this is happening because people have got off of the hamster wheel and they've been able to see what's happening. Like, oh, we can get some money. I'm not working for $25 an hour no more, brother. That's over. You're going to have to figure something else out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people are starting to create their own things and they're having trouble out there getting these jobs filled. You know, people kicking in the high gear and starting their own stuff. And I think it's a beautiful thing because what happens with the job thing, right? They lock you in, right? So you look up and see they trick mama and them with that. Somebody got to break that because they trick mama and them with that. You know, they trick mama and them in the willing somebody else's dreams into fruition. You know, and she looked down and she ain't missed no days and she done worked 30 straight years for these people. She look up, she got a little retirement, a little something here and there, but it ain't just no like 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So like, nah, they done tricked them with that. They tricked mama and them with that. We got to break that. So, you know, when the pandemic happened, people broke out of that and start investing the little money they had over here, doing this, doing that, and starting to figure out, oh, I don't gotta do that. Nah. People start selling courses, man. You can do this, you can do that. Hey, yo, you can do this, man. You don't even need good credit. You can do this. Like, stuff start happening, man. That shit start changing people's lives. OnlyFans start changing girls' lives. They go on there, do a little something. I'm talking about the ones that pivoted and went and grabbed some properties and some businesses and this and that and sweep they, you know, situation clean. Them folks, they profited during the pandemic. Them folks not going to know. A lot of those same girls that's on OnlyFans would have been the girls that worked at these little spots you would go in. You know, you might see a girl that's thick working here. She might got an OnlyFans now. They can't get her to come for $15 no more. That's dead. You know what I'm saying? So again, it effectively changed the market. The pandemic did, you know, and they're having trouble, you know, like I said, keeping people in them jobs. And I just think you got to break that cycle, man. You don't want to look up and then 30 years, they done broke your body down. Especially a nigga driving a forklift or one of you niggas, you know, lifting this and that, man. They breaking you down 30 years. You look up, man, because see, this how they trick you. They put you on a point system. So they don't see, you don't even know. They done let you only miss 4 days out the whole year. And then they might give you 10 days on vacation. So you got 14 days out of 365 days that you can take off. And they think that's a win. To the point where if you start missing more than that, they'll start to finna fire you. You understand? So like, you'll look up, man, 30 years done went by, man. You done really only spent 91 days by yourself in 10 years. Like, not by yourself, but taking off and kind of doing what you want to do. You spent 108 days in 15 years. Like, you got to be smarter than that. Like, you got to break that. You know what I'm saying? You got to break that. Not saying it's nothing wrong with no job, because sometimes they can put you in a position to start to pivot other places. You know what I'm saying? It's an important transition that can happen from that. Oh, I wanted to tell y'all too, I'm about to start doing Patreon with y'all. So I'm gonna call it It's Up There with Y'all. Right? And so you become a member of the Patreon if you have a crazy story, if you have a crazy encounter, maybe a crazy job firing or crazy girlfriend, crazy boyfriend, just any wild story, you know what I'm saying? We gonna chop it up about that over there, man, and just kick it with my people over there. So make sure y'all subscribe to Patreon. It's Up There Podcast, and then send your story to the DM, and then we'll put you on the calendar to come and just chop it up and tell your crazy story, and we'll just kick it over there. I think I'm gonna make it probably $5-10 a month for that access. And then we'll do it as much as y'all want to do it. As many people as got good stories, we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all tap in on that, man. That's my way to talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go live. A lot of them people on there, they might not be really tapped in with me. So I need the people that's really tapped in with me that want to eat. You might want to get up and get some topics or give me a perspective on something like, Loon, did you check out this? We can chop it up, like go in the lab with me. You know what I'm saying? And figure out what we going to talk about on the next show and things like that. So I think that'll be dope. So make sure y'all come over there and do that. I wrote this down. I'm not looking for people in the industry to help me. I'm looking for companies. I understand that I'm competition to some of these guys, and I'm the kind of competition that's probably, because I don't know, I don't know what I'm doing, right? So when I'm doing these things, I don't know if people taking them as shots because I'm putting game down, which I think game respect game, so it shouldn't be took as a shot. But if it is, it's cool. I feel the energy when they push up on me. But I'm not looking for people to mess with me, because I know not the listeners. I'm talking about industry guys. I'm looking forward to them not either understanding me or being kind of spooked out in regards to, communication with somebody like me that can take some of their power from them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for companies. I'm looking to do business with companies that's looking to reach out people. I build my own fan base. I build my own people that come listen to me. So I'm looking for the people that's coming looking for me, that's looking to talk to the people that like to listen to me. And you got to think about my range. I'm going from Dr. Umar to people that got out from life sentences. I'm going from Floyd Mayweather to people that to the New York 9 Trade Bloods with Wildcat and them on my show. So I'm doing all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just me by myself that's kicking major games. So I think it's going to live in the marketplace in its own. It's going to carve out its own little area, and it's going to live there. And it'll be profitable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to keep building the platform and pushing it in the right direction. All right. I'm going to speak about this, and then we'll get out of here. DJ AKADEMIKS was on Clubhouse. Of course, he responded to RORY and Mal getting a $10 million deal on his podcast and squashing the beef with Meek. I think they said he spoke on his podcast about. But after that, he went to Clubhouse. I think after the Meek thing, he I'm coming to Clubhouse, see what they got to say about it. So he went to Clubhouse after that, and they came to him about the Chirac situation. Again, DJ AKADEMIKS and WAC 100, I'm gonna say this for the fourth time, have over 10,000 hours in discussing these topics. So these dudes are masters in regards to these particular topics y'all keep bringing up, y'all all are saying the same thing. Y'all all are approaching it from the same angle. They have over 10,000 hours, and that's what it takes for you to be a master. So when they come at Whack 100 about Tekashi, he has the same spiel. They keep coming the same way. They can't fade him because he's had so much time to carve out exactly his intentions, make it clear there's no slip-ups when he talks to WALO and them, because he's on Clubhouse boxing with this every day. So y'all are not really prepared to have those conversations at such a high level with people that's do. I know it may not seem like a lot, but I'm telling you the reason why. When you see them speak to people, or Whack 100 speak to people, you see how he's not shaky. They can't get him to say, you right. Everything they're saying he has a response for because of Clubhouse. He's being talked, they're talking all the time about these things, and nobody has a unique perspective unless they come talk to me. But DJ AKADEMIKS the same way. He's been asked these Chirac questions a million times. So now I have all kind of lanes in my head to go with this, right? And one of his lanes are to push back. Say, yo, the rappers are doing this. What do you expect? Yo, how am I when they are, right? And this is one of the games. So he's on Clubhouse and they came to him about it. Let's listen to what they said and then I'll come back.
AKADEMIKS, can I ask you some questions, bro? Because I'm going to keep the same energy when you weren't here.
Hey, listen, I want to say something. We got him in a room now. I don't want a million niggas screaming at him. I don't want no attacks. I don't want any of that. We going to have a conversation. Y'all wanted the conversation. Y'all got it. For sure. So just keep it. Hold on.
Best believe him.
Keep it respectful.
Oh, he a brother. I ain't gonna never disrespect.
And if not, y'all out of here. Down to
I need one mic as well. So
me and Ace got the strap.
All right,
you got the floor, Raphael.
So AKADEMIKS, bro, congratulations on what you're doing, man. Like I said earlier, you're gonna get your coins from the crib, but I feel like I'm 50-50. Dre said something earlier about like you're basically inciting something to some magnitude because you have no business in their business. You're just talking about what's hot, which is cool. That's you. But at the same time, you wouldn't have.
And like, I think the previous times, and by the way, salute the facts, but previous times I came in here, a lot of times I was so much on trying to show y'all that it's about joint accountability that.
Yep. No, hold on. That's what I was about to say. That's the other 50%. But that's the other 50%. That's what I'm about to say. Hold on. I'm almost done.
Yeah, but when you mentioned that somebody said I'm in somebody's business, once you put that shit on the internet, it's everybody's business. If you profiting from putting your business on the outside for the, it's like if I make a comment about Safari, and I know I'm just making a parallel. If I make a comment about Safari and Erica Mena's relationship that they have basically licensed to VH1 and pretty much exploited for their benefit, I don't care what they use the money to do, but they have now turned their private business into a public business that generates some income that they're exploiting. I don't really care how sensitive, like everybody's gonna have an opinion. It's the same with me. The moment I became a public figure, you know what I mean? Whether you guys, sometimes I listen to some of these conversations that be up on YouTube. A lot of times, I'll see reason in a lot of y'all having thoughts about me, even if I disagree, because I'm a public figure. I'm here to be, I'm here to be discussed. I'm here to be, critiqued. I'm also here to be disliked if niggas don't rock with whatever I'm doing. But this whole thing of you're like, I think I heard somebody was like, yeah, it's their business, but you can't really, if you talk about it, you're inciting it. They're profiting off the whole thing. How is it some personal shit? So really, I'm in here to have the conversation with anybody who wants to engage. But I severely disagree with that point. This ain't no personal business when you're making it into records, when you're literally, and by the way, we have such a convenient, it's a convenient, we give, especially entertainers, rappers, like a pass, like they don't know what they're doing. You think You think, oh, just because they're artists, they're just rapping about actual shit going on, and it's just that's their way to express themselves? No, they know what gets clicks. You know what I mean? Like, truth be told, if it's the reason why.
Yeah, they know it gets clicks, and I'm gonna speak to you for a minute. You know, I've told I've told you a few things on your page. You know, I need you to really, really listen to me. You know, there's a number of reasons why you really why you don't understand the gravity of what people are telling you, and I understand that they really can't articulate it in a way that breaks through your 10,000 hours of regurgitating some of the information, because you've been bombarded with some of these questions. I get that. But you gotta understand what you're saying, right? Think about this. I have the right to smoke cigarettes. I have the right to do whatever I want to do with my body, with my mind. This is me, right? So what I'm saying is, right, whatever I put out, I get in, that's on me. That's on me, right? This ain't on. If I take my gun and shoot my hand, it don't do nothing. It blow my hand off. It don't affect nobody else. And I got the right. I got the right to do whatever I want to do with what belong to me. I can take my car and I can go into a neighborhood and do donuts and tear it up if I want. If I ain't breaking no law, and they don't give me, it's my car. Ain't nobody, you can't say nothing about it. So I don't see how you can say that, oh, they doing it because it's getting clicks, and that could be true. But what they got to do with you doing it, right? I can do that to myself. If I want to self-destruct, I can self-destruct. Ain't nobody stopping me from going in the bathroom and doing something to myself. You can't stop that because it's supposed to be a free country. The problem is when you take me in the bathroom and then you do something to me, now you in trouble. You shouldn't have done that. Anything else, you know, there's a number of things I can do to me that if you do it to me, there'll be a problem. And I look at that the same way with this. Just because them young boys is dissing each other in songs or doing this or that in songs, they don't give you free range to say, well, they doing it, I'm doing it. Number one, you profit off of it. You get rich and move to Miami. They got to deal with them names they dropping in them records. They got to deal with saying, woo de woo, I'm smoking such and such and such. It's killing still happening about that. But you get to just chill. There's a difference, bro. I can't let that be the narrative, you know, without any pushback. Now, you want to have a conversation, let's have that conversation, because I can tell you what I'm thinking and you tell me what you thinking. Because in my brain, it says, listen, there's no way that you can say that, hey, they're doing it to themselves, so I done it. And that gives me free range to do it. That if that's the reason you done it, that's the reason you done it. But the justification surrounding it is not warranted. That's not a good justification. There's a lot of things I can do to me that once you do it, you've now committed a crime. You broke the law. You've overstepped your boundaries, personal boundaries. You understand? So I don't see what you're saying in regards to that.
Lil Tecca rap about spinning blocks and sliding. Nobody that's not gonna go up. But if Dirk, who just dropped a song like a couple minutes ago talking about a real situation that went down with him, he put it in the song because he knows people know about it. Or listen, whether you want to know it or not, they know they fans be tuned in. And they're providing the real content because that's what's gonna get the eyes, the ears, the attention of people. So when the media talks about it, don't make the media the bad guy. It's kind of like, it's almost like saying that if you distance somebody, even if you put it in coded language in lyrics, and then all of a sudden, right.
All right, y'all, we ain't gonna do this tonight. Y'all tap the like button. Come on, I don't want to keep talking. Hit that like button for me.
That genius just explains it, and they're explaining it with publicly known shit because they deciphered it, right, or gave somewhat of an explanation. They're all in your business. That's not true at all. So again,
number one, with all due respect to Rap Genius, a lot of times they're wrong, and we can prove that. All right? Number one, and I think that's needed what they do. That's a great platform. If y'all ain't tapped into Rap Genius, go tap in. But Rap Genius a lot of times doesn't have a pulse to the neighborhood. You know, maybe they speak to someone at the label, they send them some lyrics, or they sit someone down and listen to the song and write the lyrics down, but they're not solving cases at Rap Genius. They're not putting, if somebody said, if Dirk put in his song, you know, I put the ops to bed, they're not putting in parentheses such and such. You know, whoever name that you would insert there, one of you media dudes. They not doing that. They just saying what he's saying in the records. And nothing's wrong with that. What happens is with the media, they tend to gaslight situations. They tend to kind of solve crimes. A lot of times, like when RIP to Triple X, when he died, they put his whole situation on the wrong person. Let's not forget that. They chased the little dude, soldiers, whatever, down, had him with the mask, had people threatening him all online, and it wasn't even him. So, you know, we got to remember all of those things. We can't just consider the things that make us look like we right.
I mean, I definitely, you know, just to start out, I definitely am opposed to anybody who says that, you know, number one, academics is profiting off, like, you know, just the private business of people. I do what every media platform does, which is basically information that is public, right? And, you know, I have all the resources, and for certain stuff, you know, which, you know, I could use, like, if I really wanted to do investigative shit, I could. But in reality, I've never ever really, when especially it came to the situations y'all talking about, I've never ever broke no news that wasn't already regurgitated, already known. You know what I mean? Most of the times, if y'all look at when I'm posting some shit, where am I getting it from?
Can I ask you a question?
It's already on the news website.
Can I ask you a question? All right. So you said that
Whack
Dirk
100
rap
gave the
about
Mac game.
real shit that's going on to incite clicks and like a clickbait, basically, right? To run numbers up. Is that right?
He's exploiting it. Yes.
Okay. But none of us are involved. So can we actually validate if what he's saying is real or not?
Yo, you see, this is where the conversation goes left.
No, no. This is what I'm asking. Like, how can we validate that?
But again, that's why I said the conversation goes into a real place of, like, it becomes nonsense, because are we gonna play stupid? Like, come on now. Like, you know when you first.
Yeah, we're gonna play stupid, respectfully. Yeah. We're playing stupid, respectfully.
If the casual fan, 3,000 miles away, right? Sometimes you be having all the white fans who have never probably been to a hood in their life. They know who beefing with who dissing who. They know what they're referring to on lyrics. If that fan knows, we could sit here and be like, oh, we don't know what they're talking. Come on now. Is that? Tell me if that's the direction we're gonna go with this conversation, because I already know where we're going.
No, all right. So all right, academic.
Listen, sometimes what I'm saying is playing stupid is there's a lot of information. You just said that you could be doing investigation work. I know you got stuff you know about 6ix9ine you ain't said. Like, you play stupid with some stuff, right? You play like, not sure. You seen Whack 100 and Wallo and GILLIE them go at it with the playing stupid thing. I haven't seen it. Have you? Nah, I ain't saw it. Like, certain things you do that with. That's what these people do in this space. So let's not act like that ain't a thing either now.
So let's say the casual fan that listens to the music.
But if we gotta control the conversation based on what makes academic comfortable for him to stay, then it's not a real conversation, bro. It's not. I'm never gonna be. Hold on, facts. Listen, I'm never gonna be disrespectful. But if we gonna have a real conversation, let's have it. If we not directly involved, we can't validate what's real or not based on somebody else's lyrics. We can't do that. So for us to say like we literally protesting that is real and valid and we not involved, that's foul.
All right, hold on.
Now,
Let me ask you a direct question. That's what I was talking about accountability. All right, so Dirk dropped the song "Should Have Ducked." They arrested a bunch of niggas who used to be around him or were around him yesterday for that nigga's murder. Do you think that the media now is saying, well, 2 + 2 is 4? Do you think that oh, nobody knew about that shit? You tell me. We having a real conversation, right?
You can't say.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
If a media outlet now connects and be like, well, blah, blah, blah. You're saying that we don't know, like, because we ain't really blah, blah, we don't know who's talking about what. I'm saying there's times you clearly see, like, for example, yesterday, you get to see, at least based on the fucking indictment that came down from the feds, right? Not all them lyrics was just coincidence. It probably was something to it. There was probably an issue there. So now when the media then either brings it up, is the media inciting, or they're actually just reporting and actually going off what seems to be factual?
You can't. Something can't seem to be factual.
Probably issues there.
You see these dudes are professionals. You said all of that and then said something seems to be factual. You can't seem to be factual. That ain't how that work. Facts is facts. Ain't no seem to be factual.
It isn't fact.
Oh my.
So the media has a responsibility to report facts. Now a blogger can just report their opinion, but if you're gonna accept the responsibility of representing this media, then you should also want to make sure that what you drop is facts. Because I don't really understand why Dirk was even ever mentioned in the video that you posted regarding people being indicted by the feds with O Block, because he wasn't in the paperwork and he didn't get arrested. And mentioning him does correlate him with that situation.
All right,
Juju, let him answer.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, right? So, you got to add context. Like, first of all, the regular casual rap fan, and I've seen his, even his stature going up in the last couple of months. He signed a deal with Empire. Muwap is someone who was around, at least from what I know, he was around, he got a deal because of King Von. King Von obviously was an artist that Dirk helped put on. Then we have, again, you're making him, the way you're acting with this blissful ignorance is almost making it seem like I'm some, like I'm doing like some crazy math, but it's not speculation that the last couple on tour, Muwap was there. Like, so again, when I'm trying to explain to an audience, nobody said Dirk did anything. But if you think, just like if somebody hangs around, you might not have to have like an official title, but if you hang around or you're rolling around with a particular artist, when the media reports that, I don't know, you get into whatever, they might be like, oh, this is an affiliate of blah, blah. Haven't we seen that many times? Is that incorrect to say? Is that like now get into people's business, or is that just factual reporting? So someone who clearly, and by the way, go look on YouTube. There's hundreds of videos. Go look at Dirk's, like all Dirk's performances from the last like year. You're gonna see a lot on stage. Muwap is there with them. That's the dude who got indicted for another artist in Chicago's death. Nobody mentioned to say Dirk did nothing, right? But who is the guy Muwap? It's just simply association. Because truth be told, maybe more people know FBG Duck than the individual Muwap. But again, it's just saying, yo, he rolled with Dirk in him. Like, I don't think that's like, really, oh, you're speculating. Why'd you have to bring his? It would be different if I was like, oh,
it's a federal
I was
case.
Either sending clear hints, making assumptions like, oh, Dirk is mine. No, these are people who just been associated with Dirk. That's how the general public, at least in a hip hop media atmosphere, would know who Muwap is. Muwap does not have
understandable, but academic, you went further than just creating an association. You also was sure to include that Dirk lyrics was reflective of what's actually happening in O Block right now, even though Dirk didn't get arrested. Like, so I'm not understanding why what they going through is reflective of what Dirk rapping about. They disassociated, but it's like you tying them in together. That's going a step further than just, they hang out. It's going further than that.
Now, I don't think I'm tying them into anything when I just point out the simple fact, which I like. Again, I am all the way down with just sitting here and doing the blissful ignorance stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Dirk been hold on.
Nah, hold on.
If Dirk been dissing Duck for a minute. Like if that is like, oh my God, I cracked some code. Well, God damn it, I must be the best internet detective ever. You know what I mean?
All right.
And by the way, hold on. Wait. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
the reason why I also brought that up, because when it's also to give context, right? Because really, and I don't know if I necessarily spelled it out in that particular video, but it was really to say that when it comes to accountability. When academics is in this room, y'all be like, yo, you're inciting this, you're doing this. Nobody ever blamed the people who allegedly pulled the trigger. I've never heard somebody say, yo, if he did that shit, I can't rock with him no more. I never heard that ever, okay? But beyond that, it's like, when you listen to, and I don't know if y'all take time, because as you said, I should be doing my homework and I'm in the media, I do. So number one, I got to read, I'm going to make an effort to read every page of every indictment, listen to what the FBI said, how they solved this, whatever. And you know what they said? We literally got this. We got the information from this music. That's data.
All right, we got 150 people in here. Hit the like button. I don't want to keep stopping and talking and shit. Hit the like button.
Say we got it from academics. The guys who are involved with this are telling us who they don't like, who they're gonna do a revenge act of violence against. They're literally spelling it out for us. And you know what we do? We go to...
The difference in that would be that's their job, unless you're saying that our own media's job is to implicate our own in criminal activity and co-sign the destruction of the neighborhood. I'm not sure.
Chicago drill music. I didn't say that. The guy sit up on a podium with an FBI big logo while he's over here basking in
That's what we expect from him with the
success,
FBI logo.
I guess, in him making an arrest. And he's saying it that, listen, he's getting it from the music. So, again, you might say, oh, I don't know what he's talking about. The FBI clearly does. They literally said it.
The FBI is making a case to the judge. Our media shouldn't be making the case to the judge. People love to say, hey, yo, the FBI said they're getting all the information from the music. Of course they're saying that. They're making a case to the judge to lock people up. We don't expect the same behavior from one of our media people, right? My girlfriend shouldn't act like some woman that I just meet down the street. I expect different things from them, right? So our media, we don't expect you to implicate people in crimes that can further the strength of what the government is saying. And that goes for media, period. I don't implicate people in crimes. We don't do that. Right? Now, if Dirk would have came out and said something like, yo, all my homies just went fed, I'm Big General, which I don't think he would have done that, then repurposing that would be a thing. But to put things together that I'm not trying to represent myself as, you tell me what that's about. I expect that from the federal government. As people say, they have a badge. They have an agenda, right? To uphold the law and try to take people to jail and prove their case. So we expect them to say something. We just don't expect our media to be involved with those things, in my opinion.
Got it from the music. So again, when that context is covered, that yes, like I'm not breaking down nothing that ain't publicly available. These ain't songs I'm leaking. There's songs that even in the title, it basically is playing around or poking fun at other people. I mean,
can I ask?
Wait. Before you go, right? I wanted to ask this earlier. So, all right, I understand you're reporting on things that you say or may not be public knowledge, right? I'm just leaving it in the air, right? So when you do report these things and you do kind of connect things, you don't feel like that may be helping the outsiders a little bit more when you do connect certain things or put things with other things?
Let K do.
Yo.
I'll give a quick answer to that because I know I could get long-winded. No, I really don't think the level of me breaking down or analyzing or even reporting is ever bringing no new information to light. Like I'm telling you, like, you know, and I don't want to put this other individual, you know, in the crossfire, nothing like that. Like, man, as much flack as people have like given me for, you know, one of the first time I came on Clubhouse, they basically like attributed the entire crime rate to me. Yo, Ak, you did this. You gave niggas nicknames. You incite everything. You got these little kids feeling they got to kill niggas to get on your page. And the funny part about it was like, you know, honestly, like I'm still learning this year who's really still into it or who's into it with who. Like, I've never claimed to be an expert on this. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm finding stuff out. Like there's other channels that are on YouTube that they got this shit down to a science. You get me? Like, again, I've never went that far. I've only covered, okay, all right, somebody passed away. The police made an arrest. Okay, let's just talk about what the police have, and I'm gonna give some context to it. But it's never like, okay, cool. You know, and obviously sometimes I might be like, well, like for example, it could be whatever. I'm like, well, and I'm just use this particular situation. I'm like, well, which is, by the way, it's completely on 4K surveillance camera, like the whole Little Tim King Von thing. The nature of my breakdown when it comes to that is not providing nothing new. Is more of saying, okay, let's have a discussion. Or even when I'm doing a video, I'm kind of having a discussion with myself. I'm like, well, I think this guy might try to go for self-defense. That's self-explanatory. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not breaking no fucking news.
Can I speak?
Like,
Yo, hold on. I need to speak. Yo, Ak, you finish that?
Yeah, no, I'm done.
I look, I wanted to say something, right? So I want Oreo to speak, but I want to say something. So before you came in the room, this is me, right? I was told, like, as a public figure, as a media outlet, as a personality, because of your following, and this is not just to you, this is in general, you can't have an opinion on artists' music because of Jim Jones, because of your statement with Jim Jones and Mano having an album. It was said that you can't have a public opinion on music because you have a following.
Facts. That's not what was said. What was said is how he delivered it.
Yo, let me speak, please. How do you feel about that?
I mean, are you saying because we have a platform or because I'm in the media I can't have? Nah, I don't. Obviously, that's BS. You know what I mean? Again, you know, I just go back to what I said about, you know, by the way, these artists I'm mentioning, I'm not mentioning them because I don't like them. I enjoy their music very thoroughly, whether I come from those backgrounds or not. I'm like, there is, and it's a double-edged sword. And that's why, like, you know, when I ever came to Clubhouse to have real conversation, it's about the hypocrisy we all share. Because truth be told, if somebody's, for the persons who are saying, well, we don't know what's going on, if a nigga's talking that fake shit, you don't want to hear it. Just like most of y'all, right? I don't know, maybe in this room or not, y'all wouldn't want to hear 6ix9ine talk about no gangster shit no more, because you're going to say he's a rat, right? Now, the thing is authenticity. It matters, right? And when you look at, you know, some of these artists, like, they know it matters. And that's why sometimes I think they take the risk by putting, you know how many artists got beef that they're not rapping about? Like, I talk to a lot of artists who don't put their actual beefs in music. They don't do it. But some do. Now, when you do that, you're bringing extra visibility of tens of millions of fans, which, by the way, is probably going to turn to streams. So, yes, you are getting some kickback, some money that's out there. You're getting hot. But it's going to get a lot of attention from feds. You can't have it both ways. So it's one of those things where, like, when you share that information, now people are going to want to know more.
Yo,
a lot of these documentary pages popping up on YouTube? You know why niggas is going to Google? Like, it has like almost like 10 million views. There's a few documentaries I've seen a bunch of people do. I've kind of watched a couple of them on Jacksonville beefs among rappers. Before Young and Ace dropped Who Got Smoked, I never even knew that was going on. But he put it out in the music. He put it out dissing actual deceased people and another nigga who's in his city responding. Now you have the whole world who, okay, the song might be cool or whatever, but they're not gonna just stop as someone was saying, well, we don't know what's going on. Maybe it's true, or maybe no. They now want to know more about it. So now they go on YouTube. They're again, it's fans. It all feeds the same cycle of why people fuck with certain artists. You're usually gonna hear, especially when it comes to like certain type of music, people gonna be like, yo, I fuck with that artist because yo, he real. I feel like he's actually, whatever he says, he's actually living. You know what I mean? So again, it's unreasonable to say people could consume it. You could exploit those things going on around you, but nobody can have an opinion on it. And then everybody has to watch out to make sure, hey, you don't get in trouble for what you have chose to put out on a record, which, by the way, we're not talking about, and even when, going back to like when I did come in and I took a lot of accountability for like, the war in Chirac. Definitely certain aspects, definitely the way I went about it. But, that's a very different time than now. We're talking about niggas who are signed to labels worth billions of dollars with record with album budgets of millions of dollars, going into studios, flying private jets, and they're talking about beefs. This isn't like some kid who he just got into some shit with some nigga across town and he don't know how to express himself, so he made some song and it kind of blew up, and then now everybody's using that to kind of be like, well, what you gonna do? Like, these are people who they know they gotta heat shit up, they gotta get people talking, and they're saying, what am I gonna do in terms of music to get people talking? I'm gonna go diss the niggas in my city who people know I've been beefing with. And again, to the young lady who said, we don't know who beefing with who, trust me, maybe you don't know, but I guarantee I could pick a white kid with a bowl cut out of Montana, and I could ask him, name 5 ops of so-and-so rapper, and they'll name it, no problem.
Hey, Facts, check your back.
So was that, so Academics, was that the motivation behind you mentioning Dirk in the video? Was you trying to get shared responsibility because you feel like everybody look at you and not him? Because he not the only rapper that made diss songs about Dirk, but he was the only one that you mentioned.
Well, it was because of, it was clear association. Like, he's been on his Instagram. He was at most of his shows. He's been rolling around with him. And again, that's not no secret. You know what I mean? Because people see it like, shit, I'll be on Muad page. I always be seeing posted, like, I be on YouTube watching Dirk's performances, like, and I always be looking like, because Muad be in the back turned every time Von songs come on or Von tribute songs, Dirk's performance. So like a lot of people knew, but you're right. It's not just Dirk. I love Dirk. Like by the way, me and Dirk, even personally, we've always had a really good relationship. I guess I say it because like a lot of times when it comes to these discussions, we really don't factor in everything, even when it comes to artists. You know what I mean? Again, these artists are far removed from like 2012, where it was just chaotic and trying to make it. These are established veterans in the game with huge budgets who are going into studios and they're willfully and cognitively making those decisions to say, I'm about to make music that is going to be promoted by a $1 billion company to promote more genocide. You get me?
All right.
And because of that, I like a day like yesterday, I'm not happy, but it is, we have to hold the mirror up sometimes. We got to hold the mirror up, because if we're going to have a conversation, I'm always down for the conversation. Let's have the real conversation. So if the real, the real conversation probably is, act. Well, when you did the war in Chirac, the way you approached it here, blah, 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 look at who you were. Okay, cool. There's accountability to be held that way. I try to, of course, change. Shit, I haven't done the war in Chirac, I believe 4 or 5, probably even 6 years. And I've given, critiques to myself on how I could have either done that better or not be as dismissive and maybe as, whatever effects you might think it has, which I just personally just don't think it's murder. But I'm not going to say there was no effects. I could critique myself. The problem starts where everybody says, great, we got the scapegoat, end of discussion. Like, you know, and I hate that I'm using Dirk as like one of the examples because like I really fuck with him and I fuck with his music. But again, you gotta think about time and think about things like this, right? Like a couple months ago, Dirk literally said, "Yo, I'm gonna stop dissing." By the way, this was after FBG's mom, who's been mourning for however long for her son, she's saying it. Yo, could you stop? Like, you're rich. Could you stop dissing my dead son, please? Please, could you stop?
Yeah, we expect that from Mama
Dirk at one point. And really, this came off, I got to be honest, it felt like it came off internet pressure a bit of people saying, yo, come on now, this is bad energy. This is bad energy. Also, we saw his brother pass away. People kept saying it's bad energy. He tweeted out, he said, I'm going to stop after a certain point. But we also got to keep it honest about the music we're still seeing coming out. The song that dropped today is still talking about spinning and sliding and still making loose references. Now, again, for the person who thinks I'm just pointing everything out, we'll just act like it's just random stuff. But the energy is still there in the music. It's not like it was a verbal promise, but I think Dirk understands that a lot of, like, Dirk to me is the hottest rapper. You know, I've tweeted out, I said, I think Dirk gonna sell 150 first week. There's a type of organic litness you get. Like Baby had it right before he dropped My Turn, where like everybody's fucking with you. You're not too mainstream enough, but like everybody, whether it be just like regular casual fans, street rap fans, everybody fucks with you. Dirk is there right now. And if you ask me, truth be told, I think he knows they gravitate towards tracks like Hellcats and Trackhawks. Multiple songs he got with Vom, Back Again, all these niggas should have ducked. You know what I mean? He knows that. Listen, it's a reason why when he previewing music and talking about like, yo, when he's previewing music, and this is the only reason why I even mentioned. I mentioned on the video. I was like, yo, oh yeah, well, I guess it was sliding, right? And it was obviously a facetious, tongue-in-cheek comment, but Dirk acknowledges that, you know, the internet been trolling him about that. He dropped the verse literally saying it. He literally dropped the verse saying it. You get me? So like the artists as well, they're so in tune and they're doing this cognizantly. I gotta call BS if you really just think they could wrap it up into just artistic expression at this point for these current artists. And they could just be like, well, I'm just talking the talk, and it's the media and the.
You know what? The only problem I have, right, is the more and more I hear this, it give me them vibes of like, hey, you shouldn't have wore that short dress. You know what I mean? Like, people have a right to, if they want to do whatever they want to do to themselves, whatever that may be, they got a right to do that. That doesn't warrant. That's not a permission slip for everybody to do what you see me doing to me. I might be going through whatever that's causing me to do certain things. You know, don't assist me in my death. You understand? If anything, try to pull me, like, keep being critical of me until I stop doing it. You know, or walk with me through it or something. Help me, but don't, you feel me? It's not a permission slip to say, yo, you know, I saw you over there cutting yourself. So I brought my knife on over. I'm finna go and cut you myself. And you can't feel a way that I'm gonna cut you. You cutting yourself. Like, those things, they're not parallel. And the more I'm hearing that, it's being received that way.
People who are looking too much into it causing the problems. Because again, like FBG Duck Mom hit me every 4 hours. Hey, listen, I hit you way back then. My son murders finally got caught. Yo, you've given this dude a platform to diss my son all these years. Why won't you give me a platform that I could speak at? Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where this is accountability I just want everybody to have when y'all have the same energy for me. Let's talk about those situations. Because again, you don't got to talk about academics. You're right. Academics ain't got nothing to do with that. But now you have the mom of a deceased rapper who want to talk about that. Are y'all going to have those conversations, or are you going to sweep it under the rug because, you know what I mean, it might not favor who you might like? Again, we're not having real, honest discussions.
Academics.
So
Wait, hold on. I have
You keep
people
telling
that
me
need
to
to
hold on, and I've been waiting. I just want to
Yo,
ask him one question.
tons. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
ask
go
your question.
Thank you. Academics, do you believe in the power of influence?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know that you have a platform where there's multiple people all over the world like watching you and listening to what you have to say?
Yes.
Okay, so even though you may call yourself, I'm not sure if you call yourself like a radio personality or a blogger, but the influence that you have and what you post is going to attract other influences to whatever you're attracting. So it's not that I disagree with your hustle. It's just that, like, just me personally, like me as a human being and me as someone who stands for like my Black community in general. And I hate to do this to you, but in general, like the Black community, I care about them. And like the stuff that you're promoting, if it's not really promoting peace and you're engaging or instigating the violence, I can't respect it. And I feel like that's what you did.
Do you respect what Lil Durk, Lil Reese, other rappers? I'm gonna keep it in Chicago. Do you respect what they do?
No, I don't respect anybody that goes against the Black community or who contributes to like the violence. I don't. And I feel like you as a person, like I know that you don't want to, like, it's not your full responsibility to accept the fact that, okay, I could have influenced it, but at the end of the day, it's not totally up to you, but it's like you did in some way, shape or form influence that. Like you influence more viewers to see the violence that was
All right,
like
but
going on in that community, and I don't respect that.
All right, so you're down to say on this platform that you don't respect no rapper who talks about selling drugs or promoting violence, because a lot of them do. Street rap is big right now.
I don't
You don't respect not one
personally.
of them.
I don't personally know.
all right.
Who's your favorite rappers right now?
I don't have a
If
favorite
don't mind
rapper right now. Sorry.
Okay, so you're not really into rap like that. Okay, all right. For me, as long as you keep that same energy, I think that's a very constructive like criticism. That as for me, it's never really accountability. Like, again, I keep telling y'all that I'm always down for that as long as it's issued fairly across the board. Like if that conversation, I would escalate to say, all right, cool. Well, I'm glad you're not being a hypocrite, because if you said, well, my favorite rapper is Pooh Shiesty, but I don't like when you, as the media, talk about or put these type of issues on the screen in a media context, I'd be like, you're a hypocrite, but you're saying you don't like it all.
Who's
So at
your
that
favorite
point,
rapper?
Wait, nah, hold on. I need to control my stage. I have people that need to speak. I'm sorry.
What's the key?
So this is my issue, right, with what was happening. So you see the young lady come to him, and again, Act use his this talking point that he often uses, that hey, if you say your favorite rapper is Pooh Shiesty, again, another young brother, free Pooh Shiesty, that's locked up fighting for his life. They throwing life on the table, trying to play the games that the government plays. And so I think it's more favorable to keep them kind of guys out of those type of conversations. But hey, maybe that's just me. I know what it's like to put it under the mattress, so I might be a little different than a lot of these guys. However, she's trying to explain to Akademiks, and let me be clear, I respect Akademiks' business acumen. The dude has built himself multi-million-dollar company. We respect that. However, the game is the game, the gig is the gig. It's important for us to just critique the culture, as well as me. I will be critiqued as well. But let's look at this through a pair of clear lenses. She asks, he seems to not understand why people say, yo, Act. Yo, man, with you covering it, bro, it amplified it, bro. He's like, what? How? I'm nobody. I'm just somebody that's on the internet. But it's important to understand position. Again, perspective is always key. If you don't know, you can't be that shallow, but you built that into a multi-million-dollar outfit. So I gotta think that you kind of understand what they're saying, but let's entertain the fact that you don't, and let me try to break it down a little more for you. there's a situation that happens in the neighborhood where violence is gonna happen. Not even just my neighborhood. Anything in proximity of each other will kill each other. That goes for fish will kill fish. Ants will kill ants. Anything that's in close proximity of each other, there will be some sort of violence that takes place in most cases, right? So things are gonna happen. The media has a very important role. And again, I like the point that the young lady made when she said there's a difference between a blogger and a media outlet. That was deep. I never said that. I didn't think about that. And oftentimes people don't say things in this realm that haven't crossed my mind. So that hit me in a way where I said, that's a good point, and maybe I'll live there at some other time. But again, violence is going to happen. Things are going to transpire, arguments, blocks, turf wars, money. Things are going to drive this ongoing situation that's happening inside these neighborhoods. But the problem is that when you got an academics looking into it, and he's a growing thing, and he's kind of at the top of the list in regards to Instagram, or that, especially Instagram. He might be the #1 hip hop Instagram page, right? So consequently, only thing I can think about is when we was young, right? It's a situation that happens like, say you play ball, and mama and them take you to the gym. They take you over, Saturday morning. They take you to the gym. Try to get you to work out, and you shooting a little bit, and you working out a little bit, and you putting a little something into it. But it hit different when they tell you, hey, yo, a scout from the NBA is here. Oh, now he run a little harder. His defense a little tighter. His follow through is there. His form is intact. He got his shoes tied up. His headband on. He running hard as he can. He his defense is tight. Everything is intact now because now it's a scout here. And academics seems to not understand that when they land on his page, it's almost equivalent to going pro, because the notoriety attached to that has changed some of these people's lives. When you call him the Chirac Grim Reaper, he might have sold 30,000 records when that was going on. That may have changed his life. So they chasing out. They trying to get out. They trying to chase a way out the game. And so when you looking into it and willing to post it, it's almost like a scout is in the stands now. And you see the little boy, he didn't do that when mama and them was just in here watching. When his cousin them was in here balling with him, he was balling, but not that hard. He was going a little hard, but not that hard. Now that he know that the New York Knicks scout is out here watching, it's a different feel. And again, for you to be either that naive to not know your position, it worries me. It worries me if you don't know that, being placed on your page as an act of violence isn't a sign of notoriety. When I'm a podcast that drop $1 million game every week and I don't get posted on that page, there's people providing opportunity in the hood that don't get posted on that page. They got people with courses like Tony Closer that don't get posted on that page unless it's a check attached to it. So you mean to tell me that so somebody knows some value being on these pages. Somebody knows some value attached to being on these pages. So you can't then sell me that, putting them on my page didn't affect anything. I think that's irresponsible for us to have that type of mindset about that. You just took these little dudes and sent them pro. The notoriety attached to that. Now you got ops reaching out, people reaching out, but then you got loved ones that say, oh, they went up on academics. We got to go back at them. Like, it's fueling that, bruh. You got to think, you media dudes and you people with millions of followers, y'all dudes is scouts. When a person posts you on their page, that's why I give it up the bank for posting me. You got all these people following you and you co-sign and post something. Them folks is saying, hey, yo, what's up with that person? It's something that happens there. You cannot ignore that, and I think it's irresponsible to do so. Your position in the game is like a scout for the NBA. When you put a stamp on somebody, it's a stamp. When you say, yo, you got to watch his jumper, the little dude can shoot, boy, and he fast. They may not never check that again. I'm talking about the dorks, the geeks. And then you see the pressure of the internet. You see what they do to Dirk. He get on there and say they on my page saying slap for Vaughn. I know they trolling me. Got a nigga that's making what? They on tour. What you make a night? 70, 80, 90, 100 a night. That's how much pressure attached to that internet when they just gonna keep tweeting, So you can't say that what you put on that page sometimes fuels some of these kind of tweets. You see, or some of these kind of comments, which then fuels somebody like Dirk that's at the top of the food chain to respond to it. So what you think about Lil Ron and they just killed his cousin and went platinum on Academics page? It's something there happening, bro. Look at it that way. It's like going to the NBA. It's like going pro for these little dudes. You understand? And then when you put things together, these people don't know lingo and certain things that you think they know. These people are good at making people think they know more than they know. And also, the second point is, I don't expect you to echo the federal government. People like to say, well, the Feds say they got it from the music. Oh, the Feds said this. I get that. They supposed to say that. I don't expect you to echo the Feds, though. See, Loon don't echo the Feds. Loon echo the real niggas. Loon echo the smart niggas. Loon echo real game. Y'all can echo the federal government. That's on y'all. But I want to point it out so that my people and people that's discovering me day by day understand that there is somebody in position that understand what's going on. Understand how these things intertwine and can explain them from a standpoint that they better understand. It ain't no way that nobody can't understand what I just said. I think it's being conveniently ignored. There's no way you can ignore how I just put that down. Now, we'll wait on a response to that. Or we'll wait on a conversation. You know what I mean? Now. Oh, I want to also speak about this and then I'm gone. I keep telling y'all to reach a It's Up There podcast. A month ago, I did a story on my podcast about the Rutherford County, the Rutherford County police or the police officer in the school wanting to lock all the students up. If y'all go back 1 month, I did a story about how I talked to the police officer at the school and I told him who I was, and I said that, listen, this is unique for me to hear somebody speak with such illiteracy. You got to be one of the dumbest people I've bumped into in regards to having any kind of power. You understand? Because he was telling me, well, I think they need to go to jail. No, I think that they're going to go to jail. And I'm saying, what? Are you serious? So go back and listen to that, and I'm going to talk about that next week because I'm about to go. But we're going to talk about that next week because now the federal government or somebody has came in and now they got some kind of case open that they done locked up so many children in Rutherford County. It's like a school to prison pipeline that I explained. I told y'all this. So, again, we'll talk about that next week. I thank everybody for listening to It's Up There podcast. Like this episode. Share the episode on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and on your Twitter. I don't care if you got 2 followers. Share it. It helps my algorithm. Also, rate this podcast on whatever app you listening to. It helps the algorithm. Come over to Patreon. Bring your crazy stories. Bring your crazy night out. Bring whatever it is that you want to speak about. And let's comb through it and have a good time on Patreon with all my people. Subscribe to Patreon right now. We about to crank that up and go crazy with the people. It's up there with y'all. So, It's Up There podcast. Subscribe. Go get you some merch. Teespring.com. It's Up There Podcast. You dealing with the biggest one. I want to thank y'all for listening all the way here. We appreciate y'all. We on a multi-million-dollar grind. It don't stop. It won't stop. It's up there.
This is not the Joe Budden Podcast. This is not $1 million worth of game. This is not the Brilliant Idiots. This is It's Up There Podcast with Looney.